And good morning, folks. It's your host, Mad Morgan. How are everybody today? Great English on me, I know. It is a Thursday morning, and dropped off my daughter at practice. Fun stuff. I have a busy day ahead of me. I have to go in and try to learn stuff to try to make the most out of my new venture. Fun stuff. It's going to be a long day. You know, I think it started on something, and I was thinking about this today, and it really, I don't know. And I'm putting this message out to people because I want them to realize that there is a lot more to a person than meets the eye, as they say. And I think it's important for people to realize this because there's so much criticism and there's so much prejudice and there's so much like ignorance and arrogance. I mean, it's a combination of the two. When you look at somebody, you judge them, right? You judge the way they appear. You judge them the way they dress. And, people will say, oh, I don't do that, I don't do that, I don't do that. Indirectly, we all do that. We size somebody up. But let's just stop for 1 second when it comes to sizing somebody up. We're not sizing somebody up to take them on. We're just basically checking out exactly what we're dealing with. If you don't know them, you really got nothing else to go on. And the reason I say this is because I'm fluffy. I'm on the larger side. But I wasn't always on the larger side. I used to be, you know, skin and bones to the point of anorexic almost. I mean, no, I was healthier than that. But my bottom line is that I had definition, where as I got older, my mind didn't escape from that definition, but the outside of me did. And the reason I bring this point is I'm realizing the more interaction I have with people in a different elements that people are already judging me before they actually get to know me. Because the fact is I'm fluffy. I'm on the larger side. They automatically make assumptions, automatically draw conclusions. And I'm realizing it's putting me at a disadvantage. But is it really my fault? No, it's not. Don't look at somebody and automatically assume because they look a certain way. Like, for instance, I'll give an example, my size. I'm fluffy. I weigh in at about 280. But am I a slob? Do I eat junk food every night? Do I not take care of myself? Like, I mean, you can draw all these assumptions. And the biggest conclusion that people usually jump to is the fact is that, oh, well, you must eat junk food and you must eat fast food and you're a slob and you're a pig and you're this and you're that and all these negative tones, which it speaks volumes about the people making those judgmental comments. But let me tell you about me, which is interesting. And this is one thing that I want to point out. I might weigh in at 280. I might be fluffy, but I'm healthy. I got low blood pressure. I'm flexible. I'm actually very agile. Like at 280, I can still walk around like a ninja, and I make a hell of a lot less noise than my daughter, who's like a third of my weight. So, like, you can be judgmental all you want, but people adjust to their body types. Now, let's say about me. Listen, I weigh in at 280, but I don't eat junk food. I eat actually good food. My wife insists upon it, and I like a good pizza? Oh yeah, hell yeah. Who doesn't like to splurge once in a while? I do. That's fine. But I don't have bad habits. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke like over 8 years ago. Um, what else is there? I don't do drugs. Could I be more active? Oh yeah, hell yeah, I could be more active. But who couldn't be more active these days? But I'm realizing, especially in my new venture into the quote unquote professional business landscape, that I'm already being sized up and already being judged, right? If they're not looking at my size, they're looking at my color, they're looking at my attire. Let me tell you, one thing when you're larger, it's a lot more difficult to make cloth agree with you, you know, versus if you're like a coat rack. It's a lot more different dynamic. As much as you try to make it work for you, it still is going to be what it is, right? Surface area, everything else. What I'm going to encourage here, folks, is don't judge somebody on that. Yes, take a once over, but get to know them, meet them, introduce yourself to them, get to know something about them. Maybe they have a backstory. Maybe you don't know why they are the size that they are. Maybe they don't identify as that. And I'm not talking identify as in this new fandango, blah, 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 identify as a tree. No, I'm talking about, like, for instance, in my case, I still think I'm that guy that weighs in at 180, 100 pounds lighter when I was in high school. That's my mental state, you know. And even my dimensional awareness is the fact is that, I think to myself, okay, I got a little extra weight on me, but I don't feel that I'm the guy in the mirror when I look in the mirror. Not at all. I still think I'm that guy that's like 180 in high school in the pictures that I see. My mind, I think I'm the same way too. And I actually move that way, you know, as far as my everyday activities go. So that's my viewpoint. So when people get judgmental about me, I'm like, huh? What? Why? Why are you? I don't understand your prejudice because I think I look great. You know, unfortunately, that's not on you. It's just the way that people are, unfortunately, tuned that we have to be a certain size and we have to dress a certain way and all this crap. And that's arrogance and ignorance and everything else that you can imagine. That's the fault of the observer. That is the fault of the other people automatically putting you in that box. It's their error. It's their fault. It's not yours. You're just living. You're existing. You're just doing what you do. They're the ones that are drawing negative conclusions. They're the ones that are being judgmental. So, at the end of the day, be who you are, own it, and just live it. It's one of those things you just have to do. I know it sucks. You try everything under the sun to lose weight, blah, 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 blah. But some bodies and some buddies they're wired a certain way. They can't burn off the extra weight. I mean, there's probably a little extra that they can do, but they eat right and everything else, and they, go through the motions, but nothing seems to be working. Is it any fault of theirs? No. Doesn't mean they're a slob, doesn't mean they're a pig, doesn't mean they have a bad diet, doesn't mean anything like that. It just basically means for some reason their metabolism slowed down to the point where they can't seem to shed the extra weight. And honestly, I don't want to make weight loss a second job. I really don't. I see these people going out at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, no. Well, these people that spend half the day running to do what? You call that living? How is that living? You spend half your day running. Where are you running to? Why are you running? Oh, to stay healthy and happy. Well, you could be just as happy by chilling on the couch. So, at the end of the day, let people live their lives. Don't judge them. I've always liked it. Me personally, I've always enjoyed a larger woman. I just have. That's just my preference, only because I think it's healthy. I just think it's like um, it shows a matter of healthiness, reserve, survivability. I mean, and I frankly, in my opinion, I believe that women deserve curves. But a lot of the attraction element is based on the way that you present yourself. I've never, even at my size, had an issue with finding mates. Finding because my attitude is the way it is. I've never had a difficulty having somebody else find me attractive. Weight beside, it doesn't really matter of the weight. A lot of people are focused on that, thinking, "Oh, I'm single because of my weight and everything else," or my appearance. Not really. I've blown that theory out of the water a few dozen times. I've never had a difficulty. because of the way I carry myself and the way that I present myself, by my attitude, my self-confidence. I've never had a difficulty with landing anybody that I pursued. It might sound a little bit arrogant, probably a little egotistical, a little full of yourself. Some people are probably saying, "Oh, Matt Morgan, you're freaking full of yourself right now." I'm like, no, 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 no. It comes the way you carry yourself and your confidence and everything else. I mean, not overconfidence, because that's a bad thing. Because you have these people that, you have that syndrome where people were big, they lost all the weight, they exercised, they got muscles, worked out, and all this stuff like that. Now they figure that the world owes them. Oh, well, the world owes me. I'm going to be a complete asshole about it because the world owes me because of how much work I put into this. Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting mine type thing. Yeah, that's really shitty attitude. And if people steer away from you, I don't blame them because that's not the attitude to have, right? Oh, even with my size, I could still be picky. It all depends on your attitude and your approach. It's how you treat people, which comes down to it. And I'm going to circle around, of course, to my original argument about that, how you treat people. Don't judge a person by the cover, because the contents of the book that you're reading aren't based on the cover. The cover just draws you in, but the insides could be complete shit. So, really, people, like, if you think, oh, well, I'm higher echelon, I'm a higher breed, I'm this, I'm that, I'm friggin', oh, my shit don't stink. Bullshit. I'll tell you, you could be the fittest thing, and statistically, you could be fit and muscular and built and shaped and toned and fucking every other word you want to call it. But if your approach is that everybody that's larger in a non-fit way is considered beneath you, then that just makes you 10 times uglier. No matter how much the outside says, it's basically reflecting your inside and going, you're crap. You're absolute crap. So, that's the thing, people. And I'm not saying it's for myself. I know a lot of people that judge other people and the way they look. It's like, you can't do that. And on the opposite side, I want to explain to people that are purposely, surgically going to the point of making themselves look a certain way, and oh, I have to be a certain size and I have to look a certain way and I have to dress a certain way and all this stuff like that. Stop it. Don't fit into this model magazine imagery that for some reason we feel we have to live up to. You are just catering to those industries. You are just making those one percenters richer because you're drinking their Kool-Aid. Because if you follow their models, they sell more product. They make more money. They don't care about you. They don't care at all. They just want you to buy more of their product. So they're going to put the expectation on you, saying that you should look like this, you should dress like this, you should wear this product. They're going to put all that on you so they sell product. That's it. So they can get their money. They don't care what difference it makes to you. They're going to sell you on the fact that, oh yes, if you buy our product, you're going to get these results. You can get those results just by changing your attitude. It doesn't matter if you buy the product. It doesn't matter if you dress a certain way. That doesn't matter. And if anybody is basically attracted to you because you bought a certain product, well, on the flip side, do you really want to be with that person who makes that statement, makes that judgment, makes that opinion on you because of that? Like, come on now. I wouldn't want to be with somebody like that. That's just crazy. I would basically look at those persons and go, holy crap. Like, what is wrong with you? This is your focus? You're focusing on how I look? You're focusing on all this stuff like that versus who I am? Like, that's the thing. It's like, who I am is what should matter. Not what I wear, not the makeup I wear, not the appearance I present. It should be what's the inside. That's what should matter. So, that's both sides of things. They might be judging you, but you could judge them based on, of course, their opinion of you, right? Their their expectation, their oh, you should be a certain way. That's one thing that you can definitely keep into check because it works both ways. So okay, so before I get babbling on the circle, sorry, I was dealing with some idiot behind me. Some early morning asshole. He thinks he owns the road. Um, you really have to be happy with who you are. I think that's what it comes down to. Be happy with who you are and live it and own it. And if people are judging you on anything but your traits and your personality and stuff like that, you really don't want them in your life. You really don't want them in your area. It's the reality of it. Why would you want that? You wouldn't want that. Anyways, that's my little 2 cents with this. It's one of those things. You just have to deal with the planet the way it is. You got to deal with these idiots. Hopefully, educate them, smarten them up. Hopefully, get them to realize that their judgment call is wrong. You know, and help them understand that hey, you're kind of being a jerk about things. You don't have to be this way. You don't have to be judgmental this way. You should learn to change your ways because there's no reason for you to be, passing judgment on people. Holy fuck, buddy. All right. Sorry. I apologize. That's another thing. I'll take that for another topic day is the brightness of headlights these days. It's like everybody's running around with their brights on. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It's no wonder why more and more people are wearing glasses. Because if it's not the brightness of the lights, it's how much screen time we have, everything else. I'll get to that in another topic. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm not sure the duration. I think I've exhausted everything I want to say on this topic. But honestly, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a person by the way they look. Look at their actions. Look at their words. Actions speak louder than words, of course. But get beyond the exterior, start getting into the substance, which basically makes them who they are. Because they could be the best person in the world, but you've already written them off because they're overweight or they're not technically attractive. Attraction comes in many different forms, my friends. It's not just the smoothness of the skin and blah 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 blah. You have to look at the whole picture because I've known some people that frankly probably are not very appealing by magazine cover type standards on the outside, but once you get to know them, it's like, oh, transformation. Hello, transformation. They just become 10 times more attractive once you actually get to know their personalities and attitudes. It's just great. So, on that note, have a great day moving forward. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, but have a great day or a great rest of your day or a great week or a great weekend and all that stuff like that. Take the time to get to know somebody before you pass judgment. Don't judge them from the get-go. If they look remotely interesting, get to know them. Have a conversation with them. You might just find that they're probably one of the best people you know. And your old self would already write them off because, oh wow, you're like 10 tons. Don't judge weight. Don't judge the cover. Don't judge all that stuff like that. I like unique people because that's the expressiveness. But that's a topic for a different day. Okay. Remember, check your integrity. Be a good person. I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thank you very much for listening today on my car travels, my early morning muses and all that fun stuff. And I will see you next episode. Let me just get this turned off. All right.